It's almost as though you can't become strong until you face chaos, or get wisdom until you face confusion. I had never faced so much chaos in my life, with people all around. I wasn't used to that. I came from a sheltered environment where it was just me and my parents. And I was basically alone all the time, and suddenly surrounded by chaos of a liberal generation where anything went. Well, that forced me to vastly simplify my life, to get things straight, to keep things stable. It forced me into a whole new dimension of being very careful with my things and very careful who I let in. It taught me about boundaries. We have to go through these things, it seems, to jump to the other side and to be highly orderly and routine. And you begin to see, well, I had to go through that. Don't suffer with resentment. God took you through that not to punish you, but to teach you. When I met up with a narcissist, I stepped into a hidden battlefield, and I gained an inner strength built by going through fire. I'd never been through anything like that in my life. A narcissist. But now I have totally different boundaries. It's one lesson after another, and if we get caught up in grudges and resentment, even if there was a major loss, like to money, like there often is, you have to write it off and see it as a lesson that you had to go through to face the future strong. I learned that protecting my boundaries wasn't selfish, it was for survival. That learning to say no wasn't mean, it was from wisdom. A boundary, if you set your boundary, they think, well, you don't care. No, that's what they're going to say because they want to manipulate you. It has nothing to do with that. You got to put yourself first. It's like a battery that's run way down. For you to help anybody, you have to keep it high. But people will drain you, and then if you give to them, they expect more. That's just the way it is. Give if you want to give, but don't give in to demanders. Let's look at the third obstruction, food, as a reason for depression. Sugar. We need sugar. But everybody tells us, all the doctors tell us, we need to avoid sugar. And if there's a sugar in something, we won't buy it. We're so sugar phobic. But sugar is a nutrient that we need. Caffeine is a neurotoxin. We want caffeine for that upper, but we get the upper from the sugar, a nutrient. We need the sugar. Eat sugar. Sugar is good. Sugar, fruit, and starch. Now the starches, corn, rice, beans, wheat, are actually fruits in a botanical sense, not in a culinary sense, in a botanical sense. So those starches they keep you a fruitarian. You're a fruitarian. Have your fruit smoothie in the morning, put greens in it, and I put dates in it. I love my dates. Sugar. I want sugar. It makes me high. It's a nutrient. And then my starch breakfast. This morning I had rice noodles with corn. Yesterday it was wheat bread with maple syrup on it. Or fruit jam. Wonderful jam. Lots of sugar. And I'm high as a kite all day long, and I don't need to eat again for 24 hours. If I do eat something, it's a smoothie. A liquid smoothie. Left over for breakfast. I usually have strawberry or mango smoothie with lots of organic greens in the blender and dates. That's enough for the whole day. Sugar, sugar, sugar. But the medical profession is sugar phobic. Don't listen to them. You want sugar. You don't want caffeine. Caffeine is a neurotoxin. It'll make you crazy. Avoid all stimulants, because they aren't really stimulants. That'll bring you down. lot of us have had profound disappointments in our life. Do not mourn the lost years because of the wisdom they produced. An older human is profound. That's the way it is. We are to get better with years. But you see, in this ageist, neurotic culture, they see aging as an obsolescence, getting worse, wearing out of parts. No, it's more meaningful wholes. You're not wearing out in parts. You should be getting better. But people take on the ideology that they are weak, that they are less, that they are irrelevant, they are obsolete, and they waste their latter years. The latter years of a human is profound, and you should glory in it. It is your glory years. White hair is your glory of a life well lived, and there is no waste. You have not wasted anything. The things I had to go through to learn were unbelievable. I guess I didn't listen to my parents if they did tell me these things, but I had to get battered about to learn what I know, especially about boundaries and about honor and about character being more important than charm. You know, people will charm you out of your money. They'll charm you out of your dignity because we look at charm. No, it's not charm. It's character. It hides their poor character. Before you know it, they've scammed you of all your money. I had to learn that the hard way. If a person was charming, I just believed him. No way. Watch out for charmers. You see this behind me? This is the sky. Einstein proved it's all just energy. We want to be clear as the sky. We want to be part of that energy flow because we are all just energy. And when the energy is flowing, we are winning. It's just one wonderful thing, miracle, magic, coincidence, anything you want to call it, is synchronicity after another. We're flowing. We're humming with the universe. That's what we want. What keeps us from it? Obstruction. What is the obstruction in human nature? Other people. And habits, which is sin, and wrong food. Food can screw you up and obstruct you and block you from this energy flow. I've already described about food. We want sugar, fruit, starch. The fruit starches are corn, wheat, rice, and beans. Those are fruits. Wonderful, simple. I guarantee you will lose weight. No fat. Don't buy anything with fat in it. Watch your bread. It should have whole in the title, whole wheat. It should be organic, and make sure there's no oil in it. A lot of organic breads forget the oil. You want to I like Dave's Killer Bread, the 21 grains, no oil, no fat. Because the fat you eat is the fat you're going to wear. No fat, and you'll just get thin. You'll lose weight. Everybody has to lose weight because there are chemicals everywhere. The body sequesters the chemicals in fat to protect the inner organs. So there's all these areas of fat that you can't exercise off. Compare it to pictures of people in the 50s. They were skinny. Nobody could get that skinny anymore. The women's waist looked like they were 15 inches. Nobody could get that anymore because of the chemicals. So we have to do what we can. Keep your house chemical free, eat all organic, and no fat, just fruit, sugar, and the starches I mentioned, which are fruits. I don't particularly care for potatoes, they're not a fruit. Rice, that's a fruit. Wheat bread, that's a fruit. Corn, that's a fruit. Beans, I like refried beans without oil, without fat, low fat. That's a fruit. It's a botanical definition. Okay, now you're going to be flying high, you're going to be skinny, trim, energetic, and you will de-age back to the way you're supposed to be. Boy, the doctors are mad at RFK Jr. for looking at antidepressants and over-prescriptions, looking at how we're being killed by the medical profession. It's a bad situation. They hate him for looking at that. But when you look at The three leading causes of death are cancer, heart disease, and prescribed drugs. And antidepressants are the third cause of death. Antidepressants. They may reduce symptoms at first, give you a little more energy, you can finally sleep, whatever, but it's only temporary. Now you go into the Dracula drug phase. Now you go into the medical misery. Now it's doctor death. Nobody talks about that because their trials are only 3 months. The problem is long-term antidepressants, and we're surrounded by it. And 1 in 4 women, older women especially, are on them, and they're very proud about it. I have clinical depression. I can't help it. I can't help how I act. I'm bipolar. I'm manic depressive. They love their labels. They love their doctors with whom they have a codependent relationship with because that's their drug connection. That's all it is. Legalized street drugs, but they're worse than street drugs. Not going to have this glorious feeling of oneness with the universe and the stars at night and energy. Einstein proved it's all just energy, okay, at different rates of speed. You are not going to have that if you're on these drugs, if you're eating wrong, if you're in a sick relationship, or if you're held down by bad habits, sin. That's why I'm trying to clear out the obstruction from you so you can be part of the universe, like a child on a Saturday day of play, just happy, optimistic. That's how you'll feel if you have clear energy, part of the universe, not separate from it, drugged down, obstructed, unhappy, in your own private dungeon. Now, how do doctors learn? Through medical journals. But medical journals are controlled by Big Pharma. They fund them through ads and through reprints that are given out at conferences. If it's a pro-drug article, they'll reprint it 10,000 times and give it. That's how journals are now paid. It used to be that I would read medical journals and learn a lot from them, but it isn't that way anymore. They're completely funded by Big Pharma ads. That is not scientific disinterest. Doctors read that and I think, oh, I guess this is true. This is talking about the positive benefits, but there's nothing about the withdrawal. There's nothing about the negative effects. That is not published. That is omitted, and that's how they lie. It's hard climbing up the ladder in academia. Yeah, highly competitive. And when you finally get a seat at the table with all your superiors, and they're all funded by Big Pharma, you're not going to say anything. You learn very quickly what to say and what not to say. Like in any group, 2nd grade, kindergarten, you learn real quick what not to say around your peers. Any group works the same way. And if you have a mansion and a Jaguar and being flown all over the world to give conferences, becoming famous in your field, they give you a staff, they ghostwrite your articles. If you're making $700,000 a year working with Big Pharma, are you going to say anything that'll make them mad? Usually not. Most young doctors have big bills from their education. They have to pay off those debts. They have a family to support. They have a mortgage to pay off. It's a big deal. And if you're going to be fired or lose your grants, lose your position by talking, you usually won't. But you know, I think there's one doctor I know, Dr. Joseph. He was making $700,000 a year with Big Pharma, and he quit because he couldn't take the hypocrisy and the contradictions. So I think if you have morals and ethics, you should. Everybody shapes their behavior to fit the group. And when money comes down to Big Pharma and flows through all these companies, big medicine, big academia, Harvard, Yale, it shapes how the whole department thinks. But it shouldn't be that way. That's what happens because we always shape our own behavior to fit the group. And it's intimidating. You see these department heads, these superiors, they're being wined and dined, they dress so nice, they talk so arrogantly. You just become one of them. It should be obvious that medical journals and universities should not be taking money from Big Pharma. Teachers should not be taking money from Big Pharma. It's so seductive to go up the ladder quickly because you are, and to have everything done for you, and to become famous and rich suddenly. It's very seductive, but that's how bribery works. It's organized crime, dangerous medicines and organized crime. There's even a book written by that. It became a bestseller in Europe in 18 languages. Something like Bad Medicines and Organized Crime, because it's the same way as the mafia. It works the same way. We want to be as clear as the universe. We want to be clear and joyful all day and eat our sugar and just de-age and have high energy, be part of the universe. Yes, we want that. But if 1 in 4 women are on antidepressants and so self-congratulatory about it, and have this codependent relationship with their doctor and ultra respect for the medical profession and the medical journals, and the drugs are on TV, it's just part of our culture. We are no longer part of the universe. We no longer feel that energetic vitality is a measure of health. That is the index of your health, is how much vitality you have. You will not have it on these psych drugs which have permeated our culture. When it comes to getting treatment for your depression, people always agreed, well, you should be able to talk about your troubles. But that translates to, you shouldn't feel ashamed for getting mental health treatment, which is drugs. 15-minute visits, they don't ask you about your troubles in your home, your wife, your divorce, or what's going on in your career. It's easy to get pills. There's an overprescription cascade. They want to drug you, and for life. There's big money in it. So you should be able to talk about your troubles has translated to, don't be ashamed to get mental health treatment. They don't know what they're talking about when they say such things. You are walking into a dungeon, a prison camp of your own making, and you won't even know what happened. And your husband will say, she isn't the woman I married. Any rebel like me against all this, which is pure crap, will be called, she doesn't care about your suffering. She doesn't want you to get help. That's how people like me are viewed. Just because we do care. We care very much. Many of us have been through it. I was prescribed an antidepressant for 2 weeks in my 20s, and it wrecked my entire central nervous system for 20 years. I didn't even know who I was. I've been through it. I do care. But that's how the medical profession will do it. She doesn't want you to get help. The drug industries have been so effective in conflating care with treatment. The agreed upon treatment. First of all, the label they give you, bipolar, manic depressive, depressed, psychotic, is simply a voted on label. It is not an explanation of your disease at all. You've been put into a category, and the treatment is always drugs. Not talking about your problems with a therapist for an hour on a couch. That's old style. It's now drugs. So don't let them conflate care with treatment, the agreed upon protocol. Don't let them do that. One characteristic of antidepressants is, in a short time, they won't work. And that's given you a new label and a new category. treatment-resistant depression. Oh, now they've designed new devices. Listen to what my friend said. Literally inserting electrodes into the brain for deep brain stimulation, DBS, controlled through a remote control, so the therapist can press a remote control. You see, instead of facing the fact that the drugs don't work and we gain tolerance to them, they call it treatment-resistant depression. Now you're getting into electrodes. Now you're getting into deep brain stimulation. And then the battery dies and they can't remove it. It's too complicated. So it's just a dead box inside, protruding from your chest like a pacemaker. It's like a pacemaker. They put it in the chest with a cord going up to your brain and an electrode there. And it dies and there it stays for life. That's real efficient, isn't it? That's dark psychiatry. That's put in the realm of not just the drugs, but freezing waters, electroshock, and lobotomies. Psychiatry is a dark science. Treatment resistance industries are popping up. TMS, treatment resistant transcranial magnetic stimulation, many options for treatment resistance. Powerful magnetic currents through your skull, marketed as a non-drug safe alternative. There's no stopping them. When science is there, funded by Big Pharma, there's no stopping them. Called ECT, electroshock for treatment resistance. You see, when people are in so much pain from withdrawal from antidepressants, antipsychotics, benzos, they'll try anything to get out of the pain. There's no getting out of it. It's like an LSD bad trip. You have to wait for it to go through. You have brief periods of feeling good and then a sudden relapse out of nowhere because you've been messing with brain chemistry. And if you try to tell a patient, go out in the sun for a while, that'll make you feel better. Or eat fruit. Get into fruitarianism. How dare you trying to reduce my illness to just going out in the sun, trivializing it like that. Because they want that identity. It's all they have. All they have is their identity and their therapist. That's how messed up they are. Well, I say, taper off your drug. Go to a clinic if you have to. Anything you can to taper off of it. Better yet, never start it. Don't listen to medical authorities. Don't listen to ads on television. Change your diet. Get out of a sick relationship. Repent of your sins. Be part of the universe as God designed us to be happy and ecstatic and exhilarated every day and have a happy day every day of your life.